Andy, you and I both in the news business. I threw the newspapers, and you made the news. At 12 years old, I had a paper out.
I didn't know that.
The newspaper out. I had 28 papers, made a penny a day. You think, yeah, you kind of smile. But this was in, I was born in 28, so this was 1940. I was 12 years old. Penny a day, 28 papers. I got $1 by the end of the week, plus. And I didn't spend any money. I was never broke after that. Now, we talked about broke, but I'm talking about I always had money in my pocket. And it all came from my newspaper deal. But
You're a young entrepreneur.
I was. But you've been at Yahoo now over a year.
Yeah.
And do you find that the news today, the delivery of it, how it's used, everything has changed a great deal in the last few years?
Yeah. And the thing that's interesting to me, Boone, is that, you know, when the internet sort of first came on the scene and changed the news business, I kind of thought, okay, that's it. Everyone will go on to a website and read the news just like they got a newspaper. So they'll go to their local newspaper's website and read the news. But of course, it's not like that at all, and it continues to change. So it's a constant evolution. At first, people did go to websites, but now people are going to social media platforms a lot, like Facebook. They're getting emailed news coming to them every morning. But it's all different.
Can they get too much stuff?
There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of clutter out there, and that's a problem both for consumers of the news and for producers of the news, for the consumers to try to get the important stuff, figure out where to get it consistently, and for the producers of the news, like us at Yahoo, to produce great content consistently that's usable and has real utility for people who come here.
Well, I can help you because of my age.
Okay.
Because you haven't had the experience I have.
That's true.
Okay, and I was an avid newspaper reader. Mm-hmm. Okay, now I have macular. Mm-hmm. And so I read slowly. So reading slowly makes you read selectively. You know you aren't going to be able to read as much as you used to read, so now read what you think helps you most. So, but are you seeing the end of the newspapers as I knew it back in 1940 when I threw them?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much the case. I mean, if you're talking about the printed newspaper, you probably saw the other day, Boone, that Gannett is making a big bid to take over the Tribune Company, and you know these two giant chains, they're trying to put them together just so they survive, and those are some of the biggest newspapers in the country, plus a whole lot of smaller ones, hundreds of newspapers. I just think that, you know, people say they're going to survive for a while, and they will, but it's completely a generational thing. I mean, you really don't see 20-year-old people with printed newspapers at all. I mean, zero.
You remember when you took the Wall Street Journal, rode on the train, folded it like this and that?
In my lifetime. And I've seen people go from newspapers to tablets, and now people don't even carry tablets as much as they've just got one thing, which are phones. And phones are a little bit bigger than they were a few years ago, smartphones, and people are just getting all their information on their phones. It's a change.
Okay, and I'm not good at that.
It's small.
I was too old for it. Mm-hmm. Do I have a phone? Yeah, I've got a phone. I can work it, but not much more than that. So hang on. But one thing that we had the cyber people come in and look at us, where could we be hacked, and they could get all this stuff and everything else. I was the one that was safe. You had to get my yellow pad because I still wrote stuff on it. If they had my yellow pad, they had me, but they couldn't get it off my phone.
Well, I'll tell you, I think that's spot on. And, you know, every day you read about more cybersecurity problems on a personal level, on a corporate level, on a country level. And I do think there are going to be some incredibly serious problems that happen, you know, that we can't even imagine. And it's a little scary, but it's a trade-off, you know, that we all give up privacy and security for convenience. You know, we want to be able to make a restaurant reservation, read news, email our friends, bank online, quick, but we're giving something up to get that.
But to me, email, you won't believe this. You will, because you know I'm honest. Okay, in '47, I got Speed Typist Award in high school.
You did? Like lickety split?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
you threw the carriage.
How many words a minute? You remember?
71.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
And I wasn't the best, but I did get the L.C. Smith Award in the spring awards ceremony at the high school. And I
You got
got
a great memory. I can't believe you remember the name of the award.
Yeah, L.C. Smith was a typewriter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
Underwood,
All right. Underwood,
L.C.
I know.
Smith,
Okay,
Remington are all typewriters.
Right.
And my mother and dad both were very good typists. But you know, you had a carriage to throw.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Right across. Yeah. I remember that.
And but I was also on the basketball team that went to the state finals, and I went to college my first year on a basketball scholarship. So here I am. They recognized the basketball team because we went to the finals, state tournament, Austin, everything. And then I'm called back up to get the L.C. Smith Award, and I was booed.
Why?
By the basketball team.
Why?
I had it pinned on my jacket, L.C. Smith Award. None of them had it.
Well, they were just jealous of you, you mean?
Well, of course they were.
Well, but they should be supportive, you know?
It caused them to boo me.
I don't buy that. I mean,
Okay.
that's okay. I understand, but, you know, that wasn't right.
Well, that's high school.
Yeah, that is high school.
Okay, now, if you were
a good
going to
story.
advise me on business, what would be...
Me advise you on business?
Sure. I
That's a
mean,
joke.
business, reading.
Oh.
What would you give, what would be the 3 places that I should go to? Your advice to me.
Okay, first, number 1, Yahoo Finance. Is that self-serving?
No.
Listen, Yahoo Finance is extremely comprehensive, and we do a really good job, I think, of trying to curate, which is basically means selecting for you the most important stories of the day. We're creating a ton of great stories, original stories here all the time, not only in text but in video. So I would say that would be number 1. Number 2, Facebook. Do you have a Facebook account, Boone?
No. I
Come
don't.
on, you got to get with it.
Okay,
Let's
I'm
get
asking.
Jay over here to get one for you.
I'm asking for help.
Okay, all right. I think that it's probably important that you get up on Facebook and you can get stories out of your news feed after Yahoo Finance, after you check Yahoo Finance. And then
Number 3, please.
number 3,
Yeah.
you're rooting for something?
Yes,
I can't read your mind.
I know, but think of my age and think.
Oh, the Wall Street Journal newspaper.
That's right.
In print. Okay, is that what you want?
Yes.
Throw a bone to my old friends downtown or uptown as it is now.
Absolutely.
Okay. You
Yeah.
can get the Wall Street Journal's
But
still
you
a good
remember
paper.
where you and I met was at Fortune magazine.
I do remember that. Yeah.
You're going to help me again.
Okay.
Give me the 3 that I look at for politics.
For politics,
Yeah.
definitely Yahoo Politics.
Okay.
Okay, because we put together great stuff here, and we have a great team. Katie Couric's over here, and all the politics people right straight ahead of you there. So that's a good one. I would say Politico is probably pretty good. And then that's the website which is sort of
That's
inside.
funny. Politico was started by Fred Ryan.
Right?
You know Fred.
I don't know him. Mm-mm.
Okay, now he's gone to the Washington Post.
Right. I was about to say the Washington Post might be the 3rd one you should look at.
Yeah, but Fred Ryan and I are on the Reagan Foundation board together.
Okay.
So I know him pretty well.
All right.
And consequently, Politico, I do go for that.
Okay, so you're a step ahead of me on that one.
But I don't look at the Washington Post very close because I always feel like it's the other side.
Don't you like to look at the other side to see what they're thinking?
Yeah, I do. That's why I watch CNN instead of Fox.
Okay.
But I don't know how well informed I am. But what do you think about this presidential campaign? Where do you think we're headed?
I think it's great drama, and I think it's reflective of the times in which we're living, given that both Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders have gotten a lot of traction, and they really have positioned themselves as complete outsiders looking to knock out the status quo. There's a lot of financial anxiety, political anxiety amongst ordinary people. And these two candidates are sort of taking advantage of it. I think people are kind of unhappy with, the traditional parties right now. And
I do too. I couldn't believe Trump when he got started. I said, okay, this is going to be a shooting star. Mm-hmm. And I'll be damned if he hadn't hung in there.
Well, I think a lot of people thought that, Boone. And, on the other hand, today, I think people are really trying to wrap their brains around the fact that there's a very good possibility he's going to be the nominee. And what does that mean? I think for Republicans, it's a big question. And I know you've said, well, I'm going to support the nominee. And I think a lot of Republicans will probably come around to it. And, Trump's crazy like a fox, right? I mean, he knows what he's doing. And I think that, he's actually shown that, this is one of these things, Boone, where some people say when you change your mind that, oh, you're flip-flopping. Other people would call it flexible. I think that he's shown that he'll change his mind.
Well, people change their mind.
They should be able to.
Yes. But you need to explain why you're changing your mind.
Right.
What was it that caused you to change your mind, not just the audience?
Right.
We can't use that one. That'll be a killer if you say, well, I'm talking to a different group.
Yeah, right.
So I have
you don't want to be expedient that way. But if you get new facts,
right,
shouldn't you be allowed, in fact, encouraged to change your mind?
Well, let's go back to my expertise, energy.
Yes, sir.
And here you have both of the Democrats that say that they will not frack wells. And I heard Bernie Sanders say because it destroys drinking water. And that is not true. Is absolutely he cannot give me one place that's happened. But it contaminates groundwater is what he's talking about. That is not true. The largest aquifer in North America extends from Midland, Texas, to the South Dakota border, across 8 states. It's called the Ogallala Aquifer. There is not one case that aquifer has been damaged by drilling wells, and there have been 800,000 wells drilled.
Now, do you think there are any risks to fracking, though?
No, I do not.
And you told me you thought Hillary and Bernie, with regard to this issue, don't know what they're talking about.
I don't think they know what they're talking about. I think they're playing to the audience, is what they're doing. And here, this is going to be an issue that will be discussed in the presidential election when you get the two nominees that Bernie and Hillary do not like fossil fuels.
Right.
Okay, one thing that they're going to have to come to grips with. In the world today, there's 94 million barrels of oil used every day.
But let me ask you a question, Boone. What should we do about global warming? Do you believe in climate change?
Before we go to that
climate
question,
change.
just a second.
Okay.
94 million barrels, and 70% of it goes to transportation fuel.
Okay.
You're talking about, you don't like fossil fuels? Okay, shut her down. 70%.
Right.
It won't work.
Right.
You are going.
You can't have solar-powered airplanes and trains, things like that.
And wind and solar.
Right.
A battery does not move an 18
But
wheeler.
do you believe in climate change? And if so, what should we do about it?
I think it's a big enough item that we shouldn't ignore it.
Right.
I do not believe it's as apparent as some believe it is, and I don't think it's as dangerous as some believe.
Now, you've changed your mind on that issue yourself, which I think is good, because I think I remember when you said you didn't believe in it at all. And
Didn't believe what?
Didn't believe in climate change at all. And I think you've changed your mind about it as you learned more about it, right?
That's right.
So that's good. That's good. That's what we're talking about. Both liberals, Democrats, everyone should be able to change their mind when they get more information.
That's right. This is the strangest year.
Right. It is. You mean the election year?
And I wonder how far-reaching it's going to be. Is this going to be an anomaly that we experience, and then that that it goes away?
Well, so there is this narrative that we're repudiating mainstream status quo politics. But here's the rub. If Hillary is elected president, that's not true, because she's part of a political dynasty. If Hillary doesn't get the nomination or doesn't get elected, then the narrative is correct, because we will have repudiated both the Bush dynasty and the Clinton dynasty in one fall swoop, in one election. So the jury's out on that. You know, I mean, it looks like, you know, we're tired of the Bushes and we're tired of the Clintons, but Hillary, it's still, you could argue,
she's alive.
hers to lose. It's exactly, hers to lose.
The Bushes are not right now.
That's right.
They're going to have to be resurrected.
Another generation, probably.
But you still going to have to digest Hillary.
That's right. And then you've got Chelsea waiting in the wings, Ben.
Ready to go.
Ready to go.
You go to the Clinton Library, and you've got three deals there: Bill, Hillary, and Chelsea.
One time I asked President Clinton if there was a way to have a third term, would he have run? And he said, actually, he looked at this very closely, and he sort of thought that there was a way for this to happen, but it wasn't worth pursuing because
what was the way to do it?
I didn't. At that point, someone grabbed his arm and pulled him away from me. I was very interested in.
I think this President Obama, I think he has, when he came in, I think he, after winning his second term, I think he thought he might get a chance, but I couldn't figure out how he's going to get there.
Well, what do you think about President Obama?
I think he's the weakest president America ever had.
Really?
I really believe that.
See, that I find that kind of strong. I mean, I can understand how you wouldn't like President Obama, but to be that unequivocal and have that much of a superlative, I mean, you could say, I heard Franklin Pierce was a pretty bad president back in the 19th century.
But you thought I was there.
No.
Yeah. See, I made a speech up in Des Moines,
Right.
and I said I've never voted for a Democrat for president of the United States. And they said, the audience on questions said, who was the first? You know, I said, I have to think back. It had to be Abe Lincoln. And I swear, I don't know whether the crowd was slow, but it was, I got 5-10 seconds before anybody laughed.
Yeah, right.
They went, well, by golly, I wonder. The first person I voted for was Tom Dewey in 1948.
Okay, now I'm trying to think if you're pulling my leg.
No, 48.
And Dewey beat Truman.
No.
Kidding you. I'm kidding you now, right? I saw the newspaper.
Sure.
They held it up.
Oh, the Chicago Tribune
Was that
said
it? Truman held that up, that famous photograph.
Dewey wins.
Right, yeah.
And then 10 hours later,
right.
by golly, he didn't win, that Truman did.
All right, you weren't right on that election.
Truman used to play the part of what, H.B. Kaltenborn?
I don't remember that. See,
And H.B. Kaltenborn said, Dewey wins and everything, and Truman could mimic Kaltenborn's. You remember who Kaltenborn was?
No, I don't.
Man, listen,
I'm telling you, I'm a young man.
You should have gotten that in journalism school.
I'm sorry.
Okay, but H.B. Kaltenborn, and then Truman would mimic him.
Right.
And he was fabulous. It just brought down the house because his voice was so much like.
Do you do imitations?
No, I don't do imitations.
You don't imitate Barack Obama or anything like that?
No, I don't.
I'm not going to get you.
No, but take me back because you thought I was too severe.
I thought you were too strong about Barack Obama.
Okay.
In other words, I can understand someone not liking him.
He never was able to work out anything with Congress to where they accomplished anything together. I thought that was extremely weak.
I can understand that
then
criticism.
he started to just do executive orders. And of course, all of those can be reversed by a change of presidents. And I felt like they were, if I'm going to write something down and it's going to be good for 2 years and can be taken off the books like that, I don't want to leave that legacy.
Yeah, but I mean, look at the other things that Barack Obama did accomplish. And I'm only defending him in that you are taking the position weakest president we've ever had. Mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
that's what I'm arguing.
I think
with.
he elevated Jimmy Carter.
All right, you're being very partisan, I think, on that.
Okay.
But that's, and you would acknowledge that probably.
But why would I not be partisan?
Right, exactly.
Well, it's been a thanks. I appreciate you doing my
thank you,
podcast
Boone.
with me.
Yeah.
And Andy, you're a great guy. People in your business are all smart. I say that sincerely.
Present company
I don't
excluded,
agree
but-
with all of them,
Right.
but they're smart. And you're trained to be objective. I wasn't trained to be objective. I'm a geologist. So
Right.
Okay. But
Well, it's been a pleasure.
it has been. Oh, one last one.
Yeah.
Do you remember your favorite cover on Fortune magazine? And who was on that cover?
Well, I think let's see, there are a bunch of them. Wow. I think the cover story that we did on the story it's a story I did. I just remembering the stories that I wrote. We had a lot of great covers by a lot of great writers, but I just remember a story I wrote about J.R. Simplot, who was a billionaire
from
in Idaho. Yeah.
Potato.
Potato
I knew
and
him.
chips, right.
He actually supported me and my United Shareholders Association.
Right. It was just fun because I went out there. It was total
But it
discovery.
wasn't Company Hunter.
Right. Okay.
That was me.
That was you.
That was 83. I
Went out there and had a good time driving around rural Idaho with him and had a lot of fun doing it.
Well, my cover was called Company Hunter. It shows me
I should have picked that one. That was a setup. I apologize.
It was. I set you up. Okay.
That was my favorite cover. Anyway,
Boone,
great.
thanks, Andy.
Enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Thank you.